What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Corey, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. So in a previous video, I got this Honda XR400 fixed up and we actually rebuilt the carb. So today's video is going to be just on the carb rebuild in case anybody ever needs that specifically. So I'm going to use some clips that I've previously recorded just to make a smaller video of that, and then I'll also give some voiceover to it to go a little bit more in depth. So the first thing we want to do to get into this video, we're going to remove a few bolts on either side of the subframe, remove the seat. We're going to lift the back end up. That way we can get access to that carb. Well, now that we got that done, let's go ahead and tear this carb apart and we'll get it rebuilt. So right here, we're going to go ahead and remove our carb from the intake boot. So if you look here on this side, there's two cables that connect into the carburetor for the throttle. So they're right here on a little bracket that screws into the side of the carb. Just remove that, loosen your cables, and then your carb will slide right out of the bottom here, like that. So here is our carb. It is the original Keihin carb. We're gonna tear into this thing on the bench and get this thing rebuilt and cleaned. All right, guys, so we're ready to break this carb down. We're just gonna tear it apart, get those jets out, and we're gonna swap out our gaskets and make sure that our jets are clean, and then we'll put it back together. So there's gonna be 3 screws on the bottom that you're gonna wanna loosen up to remove the bowl on the bottom of the carb to get access to those jets. Doesn't look terrible at all, but these gaskets are definitely broken and torn up, so we'll need to replace that. Now we're going to loosen and remove our main jet. This main jet is a 162. And now we're taking out our pilot jet. This is what allows the machine to idle. And the pilot is a 55. And it looks pretty clear, but we'll go ahead and run some cleaner through there to make sure that's cleaned up as well. Next, we're going to remove this pin. This holds in our float and float needle that allows the gas to enter in through the carb. You want to check your float needle here to see if the rubber tip is stiff. If so, it can cause gas to leak into the bowl and overflow. That needle there feels kind of hard, so I definitely want to get that one replaced. And finally, we're going to remove our fuel mixture screw. This allows us to set the idle on the machine. So it looks like our pilot needle was out 1.5 turns. Inside's going to be a spring, a washer, and an O-ring. Make sure to remove those. We're going to go ahead and clean this guy up, and then we're going to go ahead and install our new parts that we got. So now we're just taking some carb cleaner, running it through all the passages to make sure it's clear of any dirt and debris. We need to remove this gasket off the bowl. As you can tell, it is cracked and fallen apart, so that would allow gas to leak from the bowl if not replaced. You can see just how brittle that is and how stuck it was on there. It's just falling apart. So I was just looking, and this is the pilot needle. And if you look, this is the one I pulled out of there. It looks like this tip is broken off. So that would have been causing some idle issues. So we definitely want to get that replaced. When reinstalling this screw, make sure you do add that spring, washer, and O-ring. So since the tip of that was broken, what I'm gonna do, the last one was 1.5 turns out. I'm gonna go 2 turns out with this one. So for these main jets, the one that I pulled out was a 162, and the one that came in the kit was a 142. I think the stock original is 142, and maybe they put a bigger jet in there to make up for the exhaust. To clarify, I have an aftermarket exhaust which requires more fuel. That's why there's a bigger jet. If you have the stock exhaust, no need to go up on the jet size. And this is me changing one more gasket. This one looked pretty good, not necessary to change it, but I had it, so it's not gonna hurt anything. All right, guys, there you have it. We've got a newly rebuilt carb. I'm gonna throw this back on the bike. When we come back, we'll be ready to fire this thing up for the first time. So it seems to idle pretty nice. It could probably use a little bit more tuning. The carb's not leaking at all, which is nice. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching the video. If you found this helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we've definitely got some more content coming your way. I've got a big project that I'm going to be hopefully revealing next week, so be sure to stick around for that. And if you still have any more questions about this rebuild, be sure to drop that in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.